So that happened in one of the most horrifying Wisconsin Badger basketball meltdowns that I can recall. I'm controlling for the gravity of the game. I'm just talking about a generic holy crap that just happened. Wisconsin blows a 17-point lead inside 10 minutes in the second half and falls to the Oregon Ducks in overtime. 77-73 today in the Kohl Center. And look, I'm not going to tell you that one had good vibes. That was a horrendous loss. Horrendous. And when I say horrendous loss, I mean what we witnessed and how it makes you feel. Wisconsin had to, look, you can put as much faith in BPI things, but a ESPN BPI confidence interval of 98.5% chance to win the game with about 3 minutes left. And just decide to stop scoring. Decide to stop making good, sound decisions. I'm not going to call any particular players out. That's not productive, but you saw the same thing I saw. And there were just a few guys who didn't step up, plain and simple. There was some interesting play calls from the sidelines. I'm not gonna give Gard a free pass on this one. That was not his best work today. But the fact remains, just a brutal, horrifying loss for Wisconsin at home on the game we're celebrating the 2000 Final Four team. They deserve better than to have to see that. I feel like Wisconsin performed worse at the end of this game than that Wisconsin 2000 team did against Michigan State in the semifinals. If you remember that one back in Indy. But yeah, so that all said, and by the way, if you're listening to this, you're a couple minutes in. It means you care a little bit. Like and subscribe, please. It helps this video jump to a little higher in the stacks. You're not seeing some PJ Fleck press conference from 7 years ago when he's taking row the boat to Minnesota. But anyway, let's step back a little bit and assess really quick what this means. Big picture. Small picture, horrible, horrifying, terrible. An absolute certifiable weekend killer of a game. There's no way to pretend it wasn't. Bad. Okay, let's pan out the course of the season. Big Ten championship. This might have been the one that took us out of it. I mean, it's not for sure. There's still chances, and good teams play each other. Michigan State's 11 another game, and so there are pieces that could fall into place. But let's back off of that for just a second. More in the context of the team and where they're headed. This ends the 2 seed discussion for the foreseeable future. There's chances to earn it back in East Lansing and so. But let's just do that for now. This is not a 2 seed. This may not be a 3 seed the next time we see bracketology. But again, the tournament is in mid-March. The tournament is not in February 25th. So there's things that can play out, and you have a whole bunch of chances left to punch that stuff back up. So the big picture, this is not a devastating loss. Oregon has, I believe, the second most quad one wins in NCAA basketball. It's a dangerous, long, athletic, well-coached team. It is also a team that should have been beaten today by Wisconsin. If you have a significant lead with 3 minutes left at home, you hold the fort down and walk out of there with the W. If you have a 3-point lead with 30 seconds left, you hold the fort down and walk out of there with the W. Didn't happen, but it's still one loss. So whether Oregon came in and blew us out by 30 or they went in overtime, it's the same L in terms of your record and things like that. But my concern going forward is not with this team's quality, talent, ability. One game does not undo that. You're just a little concerned with the vibes. So, that's a tough locker room. And the sort of standard way of thinking about this is good teams can emerge from tough moments stronger. That happens all the time. So I feel like this could go one of 2 ways. Wisconsin has a miserable evening. It's a tough locker room, quiet. People reflect on this. Doesn't feel good. The burgers aren't going to taste as good tonight, and the sodas aren't going to taste as well if these kids go out. They aren't going to taste as good. But, you move on from it. You get to practice tomorrow. You have a good practice. You iron out some of the things that were problematic against Oregon. And you go into the next game, which is Washington on Tuesday, with a chip on your shoulder. And all the people who have nosedived off the Wisconsin bandwagon that has been building. This is the first loss they have had in February. Okay, and that's not an easy schedule they've had. This is loss number 1 in February for the Badgers, 5-1. Okay, the rate at which people are rest in piecing this season is just remarkable to me. I cannot fathom this. I can fathom it because the fire guard undercurrent still exists in this fan base. But the reality is, this team just takes it. They get back to practice. They prepare. They handle Washington as they should. Get a quality win. And then the vibes are better again as you head into East Lansing, where you have a chance to completely, maybe not completely, but largely take the sting away from today by beating the Spartans in East Lansing. And it's not to say if you don't beat the Spartans in East Lansing, things are devastation. It's not. That's a really, really tough game. That'd be the best one of the season. So you got to go and have your best one of the season. It's not disaster if they lose it, but you have a chance to very quickly get back into feeling good about yourself. Okay. What they have been this entire year through almost 30 games did not cease to exist because of 6 bad minutes today. That's not how it works. So I feel it's more likely that Wisconsin will take it tough, feel bad about this, and get right back at it again. And they're going to be what they are. Now, the second way this could go, I think this is a less likely way, but it is a way because these are human beings, is this loss kind of sticks in their head. The doubt that you may not have had in your team's ability to close out games especially, but win games against good teams, there's some doubt in that now. There's some doubt in the back of their minds. The things they've been winning with, good three-point shooting, getting the free throw line and making them, neither one of those happened today. And you wonder, maybe next game it doesn't happen. I just think it's unlikely. I think that when you have a larger body of work that has existed throughout an entire season, as I just mentioned, of good, not just good, record free throw shooting, and it still is. They're on pace for an NCAA record for percentage. And for Wisconsin, incredible three-point shooting. That doesn't stop. It doesn't just disappear out there because of one bad game. Again, as I just said, the vibes aren't great, and you never know what gets in between the ears of these players. But if they're mentally tough, as I think they are, and they know how good they are, and they're well coached, they're not going to suddenly doubt their ability to play basketball the way they have because of one bad game. But it is a little bit of a kick in the ass. I'm not going to. There's nothing I can do to sugarcoat what just happened. That was a brutal, terrible, galling weekend killer of a loss. But my advice to Wisconsin fans is feel the pain, get mad about it, do whatever you got to do. Do your Twitter posts and shake your fist at the sun. Give this team a little bit of grace, though. They've earned it. They've earned it over the course of a season. That does not all stop because of one bad game. Okay? Glad this game wasn't in mid-March. Okay? But that's all still in front of it. So everything this team wants to accomplish is still firmly in front of it, although the Big Ten title thing has gotten significantly harder. Still possible, but it's gotten harder. They're going to have to win out. Win out and get a little help. Can happen. But cool the heels a little bit. Let it hurt. Have a couple spotted cows to take the edge off. But don't stop believing in this team and Greg Gard, because they have a season's worth of work, a solid body of work that have proven that they have earned your trust. And today was a backslide, and then they get back at it against Washington and Michigan State and Minnesota, Penn State, and then we're off in the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament. Everything this team wants to accomplish is still in front of it. But hey, it's going to sting today. Let it sting. Scary Alvarez is out.